Hello everyone, my name is Melina Ferroni and my master topic for this presentation is environmental sustainability in business. So what is environmental sustainability in business? Essentially, to achieve environmental sustainability, a business has to make decisions that are in the best interest of preserving the environment. In other words, an environmentally sustainable business is one that always takes the environment into consideration when it makes its decisions. So currently, there are some organizations in existence that provide a framework on which businesses can be run sustainably with consideration for the environment. These organizations are known as environmental management systems, and it's voluntary for companies to follow these systems, but when companies do follow these systems, those companies can be made a lot more environmentally sustainable because these management systems provide them with the tools they need to make their business processes more sustainable. So some notable environmental management systems are EMAS, or the European Union Eco-Management and Audit Scheme, ISO, or the International Organization for Standardization, and so essentially what the European Union Eco-Management and Audit Scheme does is it offers tools to companies that allow them to achieve better environmental performance. This means that companies under EMAS have to submit environmental reports, and those reports have to be verified by a member of EMAS, verified that is, that their business practices are sustainable. If they are not, the EMAS will help that company make their practices more sustainable. ISO works in a similar way. So basically, companies who join ISO are required to follow certain standards which the ISO constructs. These standards are aimed at finding solutions to serious global issues, including environmental ones. So if a company is under the ISO, they have to listen to standards that are made so that the company can work towards solving serious global problems like global warming, for example. And one last thing in this realm of like sustainable management in business is B corporations. So basically, B corporations is just like a certification that a business can have. So B corporations are companies that meet very high standards regarding their environmental performance. And to be a certified B corporation, you basically just have to meet those standards that are set about by the corporation that certifies them. So as you can see, all of these things that a company can be certified under are voluntary. So many businesses do not follow the environmental regulations set out by these management systems simply because they don't have to. And many modern businesses are not exactly sustainable because sustainability does not go hand in hand with generating profit. So in addition to these guidelines, rules, and regulations that can make businesses more environmentally sustainable, as I talked about before, there have been many scientific innovations in the recent past that have made certain businesses more sustainable. There's a lot of innovations regarding environmental sustainability to be discussed in this presentation, so I'll talk about a couple notable ones. So the first notable example of a scientific breakthrough that has made the food business more environmentally sustainable is genetically modified organisms. The health risks associated with GMOs have been hotly debated, but there is no arguing against the fact that GMOs can benefit the environment. So basically, many plants are modified genetically to increase their yield. That means that more plant matter can be produced with a less water input. That means the new GMO plants are more efficient than their natural counterparts. So another way that GMOs can help the environment is that plants can also be genetically modified to be less perishable or to make them last longer. If plants last longer, then they won't have to be thrown away into a landfill as quickly. also a benefit for the environment. So one prime example of a crop that is widely modified so that its yield will be increased is the soybean. Optimizing certain processes in the soybean through genetic engineering techniques can make soybeans produce crop more efficiently. So basically, GMO soybeans require less water input but make more soybeans. It makes the process more efficient and it benefits the environment because it uses less water, and that's a natural resource. So another example of a business made more sustainable through genetic engineering is the dairy industry. So a hormone called recombinant bovine somatotropin, also known as just simply RBST, affects the performance of dairy cows. When dairy cows are supplemented with this hormone, their milk productivity increases. This means less feed and nutrient input is required for the supplemented cow to produce the same quantity of milk as it normally would without RBST. Therefore, the use of this hormone in the dairy industry makes the dairy business, a lot more sustainable. Why? Because less greenhouse gas emissions will occur per unit of milk produced. That's because less cows are required to produce the same amount of milk. And with less cows, there's less greenhouse gas emissions. So besides this, sort of background in environmental sustainability in business, there are a lot more breakthroughs that have been made. Simply too many to talk about in this video. Some notable ones are like renewable energy, different types of it. So I'm just going to talk about two recent sustainable business innovations that aren't widely used, but that if they were widely used, these scientific advancements would contribute a lot to making industries more sustainable in regard to the environment. So to start, the Biotrans, this is a food waste processing system made for restaurants, and it was created by a Swiss company. So this device essentially collects and grinds leftover food waste, and then the food waste is turned into a biogas, which can be used as a renewable energy source. So restaurants that would use a system like this could make their business more environmentally sustainable. Not only is the food not wasted and thrown into landfills, but a renewable energy is created for use elsewhere by this process. Unfortunately, not many restaurants use this, but if they did, the restaurant industry and business would be made a lot more environmentally sustainable. So the second thing is this. It's the Eco ATM. It was invented by a company called Outer Wall. At an Eco ATM, a customer is able to turn in their old phone or other old electronic device and instantly get cash for it. Later, instead of these old electronic devices being broken down and recycled, other people can purchase the old devices from the same Eco ATM. So the benefit of this is that instead of the old electronics being broken down and recycled, they're being reused, because the process of them being broken down, the process of e-waste being recycled, produces a lot of harmful chemicals that are released into the environment. So the process, by making them reused instead of recycled, it makes the electronics industry a lot more environmentally sustainable. So that's why these machines could definitely make the business a lot more sustainable. Okay, so that's it for my presentation. These are my sources. Thank you for listening.